All right. Hey, welcome everybody. It's me, Sine Mountain, aka David Soto. This is our very first sync event. We're broadcasting from Boulder at Building 61, which is right next to the library, and we'll talk more about that soon. Thank you for joining. We appreciate it. We are doing a hybrid live show. It's going to be a bit of a leap of faith in some points, but we have a room full of modular synths and other gear here, and the idea is that we're going to try to have performances with synced clock and or MIDI. So that's going to be pretty cool. So what we're going to do, so everybody knows what's happening, is we are going to be doing a performance, and then we'll break down the patch and talk a little bit about how they set up and how they're syncing and how they're sharing clock, that sort of thing. And so if you have any questions, throw them into the live chat. We'll try to figure out how to, we'll read them and try to bring them on, your questions into the stream. But this is it. This is I don't want to talk too much. I want to listen to more music than anything else. So let's start diving into our very first performance. This is with the Aefonic and Mark Mosher. So you guys want to come over here? And yeah, awesome. So we're gonna have them. Sorry, get out of the way. We're gonna have them go ahead and start performing. Just so you know, they're synced up. So let's see what happens afterwards. We'll talk about their patch. So throw any questions you have about their gear or their patches in here. All right, take it away. Awesome. So good. Oh, that was great. Yeah. Let's give them a round of applause so everybody can hear it on the stream. There you go. That was awesome. Thank you, everybody. You're tuned into the Colorado Modular Synth Society. This is the Sync Show, the first of many, we hope. So, the Aefonic, Mark Mosher, you guys have you guys played before together? Is this your first? I mean,
a couple of times, but not like this.
Yeah. Yeah. How much of it was planned, and how much was it kind of like?
Yeah, none of it was planned. None of it was rehearsed. You probably got that. But you know, we wanted to show the syncing capability, so we'll talk about that in a minute. And we also wanted to play some different instruments as well. As you know, normally I'd be out here with a full modular rig, but today we're just with the Pulsar 23, and we were just experimenting. Mark?
Right. So at the center of our setup here is a ML2. Which is a Wi-Fi access point, which is providing, my glasses are steaming up, which is providing Ableton Link. So the Link clock comes from here, and you saw that Brian had an iPad, so he was using patterning just for sequencing. All the sounds were coming from the Pulsar. I was using that to my iPad so I could use sample slicing, and all my master effects were synced and timed to the Ableton clock. From there, we buffered molted it out. I got CV clock going into the Deluge, and from there, just sort of clocking everything else in the rig, plus sometimes the joystick. So, and the controller for me was just to slice effects, but they were all in time with the master clock, which is running Ableton Link. Brian, you want to add something?
Yeah, the other thing we were doing, which is something Mark and I haven't done before, is we were sharing some sound sources. So you could hear through that piece there was like a chopped up vocal. Mm-hmm. That was actually playing on Mark's bitbox, but was actually being brought into my Pulsar 23, and then was actually playing on the snare channel. So by turning an attenuator up and down, you could either hear the snare or the voice or a bit of both, depending on where it was. So that's how that was not coming through the traditional path. And Mark had a little bit of a voice coming out of the Pulsar going into Morphogene, I think, Mark. So we wanted to demonstrate mixing it up a little bit. You know, that was really the idea. And we, as I say, we deliberately didn't rehearse it because we didn't want to, right? We wanted to just see what came out. Yeah. And that's what came out.
Right. Yeah. And I mean, just to kind of talk about that for a second, about the having some improvisation in modular, something that definitely attracted me to modular when I first saw it. Like, just get on there and explore and do some weird spaces. So how do you all feel about prepared versus, I mean, how did you feel doing that? Because you usually are very more prepared. I know you talk a little bit about doing more improvisation. So What are your feelings about that? I mean, so some people out there might want to.
Well, as you say, I normally prepare a lot. I prepare pieces that are melodically structured and all that sort of thing, because that's what I like. And I haven't done it this way before, so yeah, it's a little bit scary, but on the other hand, it's great too. A, because you don't burn a ton of time in advance, and B, it's really exciting to see what comes out. Mark's much more experienced at this, so you know, he's more used to that, and I sort of follow what he does, so he's a good mentor in that respect.
Thanks, Brian. And I forgot to mention the deluge, because it's awesome. And the deluge is clocked through CV, but what it was doing was two things. There were some drums happening, but it was taking the output of, so the chain went bitbox, mixer, morphogene out to the deluge through to the master effects. So sometimes I was taking that same sample Brian was playing, and I forked it out and sent it into the morphogene, plus sent it into here. So sometimes I was using it as an oscillator source, but it was all synced through the CV clock. So yeah. And as far as improvising, I think my recommendation is basically what we talked about. We met for about an hour and talked about the signal path and the clock path, and sort of preparing the palette of colors, if you will, ahead of time. So we were sharing a sample that we kind of got behind that was cool. And so it's easier to improvise if you have a little bit of prepared ahead of time, right?
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Well, I really appreciate it. That was a really good example of not only syncing and improvising, but also using a lot of different types of gear, from iPads to hardware to modular. I think there was a question about which app you're running there.
that's Sampler, SAMPLR, running inside of AUM, which is kind of like having a eurorack. So AUM lets you route your signals and clocks and be an Ableton link host. And then under the hood, I was using effects by Sugar Bytes Tornado, which are all connected to here for all the synced slicing.
Awesome. And you're running one on there?
Yeah, I'm running a thing called Patterning 2, which is a sort of a drum sequencing and sound app, but I didn't have any sound coming from it. You can actually use it just in MIDI mode. So as Mark said, we were using Ableton Link. I'm putting this through AUM, I think you pronounce it, which has got Link. Actually, Patterning's got Link as well. Yeah. So you switch Link on. I put in the sequences that I wanted across 3 or 4 different sort of patterns, and then just fired the MIDI out to Pulsar, because Pulsar has MIDI, of course. And that was an easy way of doing it, because Pulsar's got loopers, but they don't remember themselves. So if I'd have brought it from home, if I'd have prepared them last night and brought it from home, I would have had to reconstruct it all today. Yeah. So I thought it was easier just to do it this way. And my experience of using patterning with the Pulsar, for anybody who's got those things, is fantastic. It works really well.
Awesome. That was awesome. Thank you so much. That was so great. Yeah, I don't know if there's any questions on the stream that I don't want to leave anybody hanging. Nope, I think we got them all.
Right, cool.
Thank you so much. Yeah. That was awesome. I appreciate it. That was rad. You heard them talk about the link, and so Kip, you want to come over here real quick, and I want to kind of go a little bit more into that. So when we first start talking about doing this show, we were talking about sharing and syncing links, and Circuit Happy reached out and said, hey, this sounds like a great opportunity to use the missing link. And so where's he based out of? Oh, sorry, this is Kip. This isn't...
Hey everybody, my name's Nick, aka Kip Schwinger. I am associated with Circuit Happy through my friend Ed, who's really the force behind Circuit Happy. He's based in Somerville, Massachusetts, where I used to live, and so he's been making these basically in his attic for the last like 5 years or so. I helped him get the first one off the ground, and this is the original unit. This is a desktop unit. They talked about how it works, but essentially it's an Ableton Link peer. It has its own ad hoc Wi-Fi network. You can join existing networks, and it takes the clock that it's getting from the Ableton Link session and spits out CV gates and a reset signal so that you can use that within the modular world. This original one also does MIDI over USB. So if you have a USB MIDI adapter, you can use this. It's based on Raspberry Pi. And then the new one here, this is the 2 HP one. This is the one that's in Mark's rack. This is a 2 HP eurorack module. Does the same thing. Yeah, I don't know if you can see it here.
I think
we're good. Yeah, okay.
We're gonna move that camera.
All right. Yeah, let's move around.
Yeah, sorry if we start cutting in, the guys are gonna go, they'll be fine. Yeah, but so keep going, sorry.
Oh yeah, so the 2 HP version here that is in Mark's rack is available now. I believe the original run sold out pretty fast. It's pretty great, but I know Ed's going to be doing some more runs of this. He'll be at NobCon as well. If anybody's going to be at NobCon, you can check it out in person. This one I think is $185. This one is $195. The desktop unit, and the desktop unit is still available now. You can buy it at Perfect Circuit and other retailers.
Yeah. So something that like, if you guys caught all that, so it's so great because on the back end, yeah, you can just do regular MIDI. You can do clock and reset out. So that makes it pretty awesome as a clock itself. But because you have that Wi-Fi capability, not only can you connect with a partner, but if your studio is spaced out, you don't have to sit there and have wires going everywhere and run into that issue. You can just have two of these little fellas sitting around, or now the eurorack version, which is even more compact. So it's pretty awesome. Thank you so much, Ed, for sending this. This isn't when he sent me out, but he sent some out so we can use them. But I think it's really cool, and it's a great idea. And it's just you two really, right?
Well, no, there's more people involved. There's a hardware engineer who's been helping out a lot. We had a lot, really just kind of a grassroots thing. Ed just kind of like wanted to do this project, and he's the one who kind of does the lion's share of the work by far. But there's a lot of people who have helped out along the way. Really cool stuff. Definitely check it out. And like David said, it's great for jam sessions. You can see we've got people in close proximity here, so even if they were using physical wired clocks, it would make a huge difference. But if we had people all across the room here that wanted to jam with one another, we don't have to run cables across the room if we want to do that. Yeah. You just have a couple of these, and it bridges to your iPad synths. It bridges to, if you're using like Ableton or Bitwig Studio on a laptop, hybrid setups. It's great for that. You don't have to run wires around. So really cool thing. If you're interested in that, if that fits your workflow, definitely check them out. Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. No, I appreciate it. I hope that got some wheels turning for everybody on how to do that and how to jam with everybody. Thanks so much, Kip, it's good to see you. Yeah. You guys if you guys have been watching the YouTube channel, Kip was on those early broadcasts, and so it's good to have you back. It's awesome. Thank you so much. That's awesome. Again, thank you everybody for tuning in. This is a ton of fun. A big shout out to Building 61. This is obviously like this is not my my basement studio you might be used to. I know we were gonna ship in the wood panels for that shot, but it got a little expensive, but maybe next time. Okay, so let's keep moving on. So we have another group of performers. This is Mike and Andrew. And we got some Buchla and eurorack in this one, so that should be pretty awesome. Let me know when we're good to do the shot. We're good? Okay, I'm going to be quiet and let Mike and Andrew play. I'm coming. Here I come. All right. Oh, that was amazing. Let's give him one more round of applause so everybody can hear around the mic. Yeah. Mike and Andrew, thank you so much. That was awesome. That was amazing. Very mellow. Someone said that they want to go to whatever planet that was broadcasting from. So that's good. That's good. We took people to outer space. Far out. Oh, cool. So probably let's just start off with the big one. How are you guys synced up? How's that working?
All right, so Andrew and I have maybe done this 2 or 3 times on our own over the past few years. And today we have the pendulum ratchet. So this is a little 2-unit Buchla box here. So this has a clock and a clock divider.
Okay.
And then I'm feeding that clock into Pam's on Andrew's case.
Okay.
So we each have our own dividing down.
Okay.
And then Pam's actually has a huge divider that comes back and syncs this one again.
Okay.
So this has like divided by 2, 4, 8, and 16.
Okay.
And that meant that we each had bars lining up.
Nice.
So yeah, I was sending out like a 1/48 pulse to him, and he was doing he was synced up to some of the drums and whatnot.
That's awesome. Okay, cool. So yeah, someone did ask a question. Where are the drums coming from?
I just got this VPME quad drum, so that's been the newest, and then it's being triggered by a LL8 right here, the Robux, I believe is how it's pronounced. Built that myself.
Nice.
So yeah, that's where the drums are coming from. And then kind of the only thing else going on the eurorack side is we had Chord playing some different voicings in the background, kind of alternating frequency and resonance
That's awesome.
with that. So kept it pretty simple.
Yeah, well, it sounded complex too. So that's pretty cool. And then you had the sound stage. Are you guys running through the sound stage or?
I'm using it very minimally, just to add a little stereo spread to the mix.
Yeah. And are you guys mixing into? Are you guys also
Into a main mixer.
main
here.
mixer? So each individually, and then it's kind of blending it, and then using the Eventide for.
Yeah, so on this side, I had one bass voice, which was masked as an oscillator, and that was just going to its own channel here.
Mm-hmm.
And then the surge had a pitch noise and a little arpeggiator going, and those are going through the Eventide.
Okay. Cool.
And then this is the concrete, which is like a little, supposed to be like splicing tape.
Oh.
So you put samples into it, and it has various ways of cutting and pitching and doing, like emulating various like 50s like tape splicing techniques.
Oh, far out. So sorry. What was getting fed into that?
Oh, so this morning I listened to a bunch of New Age records and got
Oh.
inspired, and then I played a bigger Buchla system into this and sampled long segments
Oh. Okay.
of me just like being inspired by
Nice.
other records I was listening to.
Sweet.
And then you can just trigger a big piece of audio to start playing at a random point. And you can have multiple tapes in there. So with these two, I could give it triggers from the pendulum ratchet, and it would just alternate between the 2 samples at random points.
That's awesome. That's rad. That's awesome. So it's also always fun to see different types of modular synths playing with each other, which is something I think that's really dreamy. So let's talk about what we have here. You have a surge. So we got a surge,
A Buchla.
Buchla, eurorack. Awesome.
And we had audio control voltages and clocks going in all directions.
Yeah.
And I have this little 1/8 inch to banana thing, and all the voltages line up just fine.
Oh, really? Okay.
So with the little 1/8 inch to banana adapter, you just send stuff around.
And I don't know if people can see that very well. Can you? Who is it? Who made it? What's it
It's
called?
the Soniclast PBJ.
PBJ. Okay.
It's just a passive banana jack, maybe.
Oh, cool. that PBJ. Cool. That makes
And
more
it has
sense.
a little dancing banana.
Oh, that's good. Well, that's reason enough to buy it.
Yeah.
Honestly. Yeah. So some people might be wondering, hey, I want to do that too. Any tips for people who want to use different modulars, especially banana jacks in eurorack?
Yeah, so I think if you have some mixers and, well, obviously some kind of physical interface, But mixers and in Surge, there's the slope generator, and in eurorack, there's maths. So those can help you if something is not at quite the right level, or if something's not quite triggering. You could like trigger maths to make a quick pulse, and then that will trigger something else.
That's awesome.
So I would say, yeah, just the converter, and then something like maths and a mixer. And maths has a mixer built in, so.
Awesome. Well, that was awesome. So that was so great. You guys said you guys have done a couple of performances before. Will you do me a favor, and the next time you guys do one, make a video and put it out, or send it to us, and we'll put it out, because that was really awesome, and that sounded really great.
And I invited Andrew to come over to talk about this, and we didn't plan it, but we each patched something up before we got together,
Yeah.
and that was basically what you just heard.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
So it's very minimal work on with us having to do anything really except get together. We had the basics lined up, and it just kind of figure out where we want to turn things on and off, and it was great.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, because we're talking a lot about, syncing up hardware, but also syncing up mentally. That's which is so cool. Yeah, to put some more human element to it. Thanks so much, guys. I appreciate it, Mike and Andrew. We'll have links to people's Instagrams and channels and stuff like that as well. So we'll put that in the descriptions too. Again, you're watching Sync. This is the Colorado Modular Synth Society. We do one major monthly event. That sounds bigger than it probably actually is. But yeah, so every fourth Sunday, we are always doing some event. So we will try to do some more live streaming and in-person shows when we can. This is actually the first time we've all got together since the pandemic, and since we started the YouTube channel. So this is really exciting. Again, we couldn't have done it without Building 61 helping us and with all the technical stuff. Christoph is in the back over there working all the little buttons and levers and all the clickety-clack, as we say. He's making it happen, so thank you so much for all that. We have a bunch of people here supporting as well, which is so cool. We're gonna shoot some video. Rayanism's in the house shooting some video as well. So this is good. This is good. We still have 2 more performances. So I want to jump over to that. Do you think we're ready to start? Get that? All right, cool. All right. So next up is this is something I got to point out real quick. Everybody that's performing right now is north of Highway 36. So this is the northern Colorado representing today. So this is gonna be cool. So another group from out of Fort Collins. This is Band Reject. Band reject, everybody. So awesome. Let me see if I can get in there safely. Awesome. Bryce and Jeff, that was really great. That was, am I in the shot? Am I okay? Maybe I have to walk over here. Sorry, guys. We'll figure it out. Let's see. Thank you. Awesome. Oh, that's good. Okay, cool. Hi, Jeff.
Hey,
How you
how's it going,
doing?
David?
How you doing? Thank you so much, Bryce. Thank you so much. That's awesome. I'll move the microphone a little bit. So, do you want to explain like how you guys were synced up?
Yeah, so we started collaborating a few years ago. We intentionally wanted to play together and have some sort of sync that work between us. So, Bryce, I forget the name of the module, but we essentially have one module in each case that has 2 Ethernet ports on it that go to 8, split into 8 each. So we can send and return stuff back and forth. So in this case, I'm sending a master clock to Bryce, and then I'm dividing the master clock up, and then Bryce is doing the same with that master clock, right?
Yeah, and I'm using a UTEMS.
You're using a UTEMS.
Yeah, and it takes the clock from him, and then I divide it into different divisions, and then I send it out to control envelopes and the control clocks for ties, for example. So I'm using it on various places on my setup to control clocks in different places, and then I'm dividing the clock, multiplying the clock, and recycling it. And then I'm actually sending him back some of a copy of the clock, but I'm messing with it, so I can manipulate the clock on modules on his side as well.
Awesome. So yeah, so the clock's going back and forth. Where does it? What's the actual clock source?
The clock source is the OCOS. So
Okay.
it's just a tempo clock here, and then I multi it out, divide it wherever, and then I'm using a tempi
Okay.
to divide it up. So yeah, that was kind of the concept here, is that Bryce would take the clock, divide it up, send back some other rhythms, and then I would just plug those in to do a couple things. One was like a filter envelope, and the other, I'm doing some other stuff on there in terms of shaping and or slewing some of the sound and whatnot.
Right.
So I'm pretty much working with 3 elements here. There's like the clicky woodblock thing, I'm calling it, which actually was the start of the whole thing, going through a spring reverb. And then that was kind of to show that we had a clock now and then.
Proof of
And-
clock. Yeah.
Yeah, and then I could play with the rhythm of that by slowing it, so I could offset the time of that. And then the bass sounds were primarily coming from the 3340, the CEM oscillator, through an SCM DCF, so it's like, you know, sequential meets overhang kind of thing.
Nice.
And then, what are the other elements I have? I had a soloist, a bowed soloist from it's essentially braids, right? And then, what else we got going on? I don't know, I gotta break it down here. I gotta like think back.
Yeah, you got a lot of stuff going
Yeah,
on.
so there's a lot of stuff going on there. Yeah, so the 3 elements, and there's that distorted kind of melodic thing, which was coming off the 8S sequencer there.
Okay.
So
And Bryce,
that's nice.
already. Oh, yeah.
A bunch of people were asking online
Yeah.
about your LED cables.
Oh,
So
yeah.
maybe
yeah.
They want to know how they work and do they
Yeah.
have the signal going through them and all
Yeah.
that?
So what gives?
Yeah, Bryce actually lent them to me. That's what gives. So he got me into this whole mess. So you explain.
They're from some dudes in Austria. I think they're called like Pro Producer. I found them online and bought them directly from them, and they were shipped from Austria.
Awesome.
And they're bipolar, so obviously we've got a plus voltage now, but they'll turn red when they receive a negative voltage.
Yeah, those are serious.
And they're real handy for developing envelopes and see them visually. And then I'm using one also to trigger so I can watch Jeff's tempo come in.
Yeah.
So that's his master clock he's sending me, and it flashes so I have a visual cue
Yeah.
as
So
well.
that's awesome. Oh, that's good. Yeah, that helps.
I'm using one also.
That helps.
I
So
think the company is called Pro Producer. I have
Pro
to
Producer.
double check, but-
How do they get their power?
They're powered by the voltage that's going through them.
And so does that change pitch or whatever?
No, I haven't noticed any change, no. They seem to be passive as far as I can.
Brian was asking how are they getting power, and Bryce was saying that they get it through to the voltage itself, and they're not seeing any droppage. So that's cool. That's awesome. Those seem very helpful to be using. You want to break down a little bit what you had going on your side?
Yeah, so in my case, I'm taking the clock from Jeff. I run it through UTEMPs, which splits it into multiple different outputs, which then go to all sorts of various places. Some of it is triggering STEPI, which is then generating different patterns, which is then running quadratic, and then I'm using that to control different envelopes and different patterns. And then I'm also linking the clock on my looper delay. And then I'm taking the clock and I'm clocking it to this Tabor, which is a Vactral-based oscillator that's real interesting. And then it's also creating sort of this crazy clock signal on its own. And then I'm feeding that back to Jeff. I'm not sure exactly what he was doing with it, but he was getting back
All kinds of chaos.
some craziness back to him. So I was just adding in elements here and there, not a lot. I mean, most of what was going on was Jeff's lead, and then I was adding supplement sounds in the background.
That's awesome.
But we use this kind of configuration a lot, and then we send CV signals back and forth so we can control each other's module as well.
Yeah, it's cool. I like that. Yeah, I like the idea of not only sending clock, but CV and sound as well.
And
So.
audio, yeah, I'm mixing all the audio. That's why I was wearing the phones, because I'm mixing all of our audio.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And then this is all built out for quad. So we're going to soon do some performances with quad. So we're set up so we can actually process 4 channels of audio, either with a joystick, with this quad VCA device. So all this wasn't actually being used for this performance, but this is all part of a future quad setup that we're working on.
That's great. Frank, if you're watching, he's being excited about that. He loves quad. Wow, that's awesome. That's really great.
And then, as some of you guys have met me before, I'm a builder, so I built a lot of the stuff that's in this case.
Yeah, that was my question. Is like, is this like 90% like you building
I
it?
don't think it's 90%, but it's probably it's close to half.
Awesome, awesome. Did you build that Dust of Time?
I did build that.
Yeah.
I built 3 of them.
Oh my gosh, yeah. I'm a big Dust of Time fan. That was great. That was awesome. Yeah. So you said you're recording. You guys even have a name. No one else had a name. Band Reject, which is awesome. Are we gonna be able to hear this? Like, I could put some music out.
We have some tracks on SoundCloud.
Okay.
We're trying to get some gigs up in Fort Collins.
All right. We'll get you a gig on our channel, for sure. Yeah.
We jam and practice a lot. It's really fun.
Far out. Awesome. Cool. We'll put links up to your SoundCloud and yeah, that'd be awesome. That was great. Real quick question: Did you also build these cases?
Yeah, so I'm a builder as well, and I actually got into modular synth way back in high school, built one, and Bryce triggered the new revival of modular synthesis for me.
Yeah.
But I built a lot of these modules and then also built the custom cases and all that stuff. So.
Awesome. So some real builders out here. That's how I met Bryce, is when you did a DIY class for us way back in the day. 2 years ago. Yeah. That says something about this community and this group. You know, we started doing CMSS like 2018, but obviously we have members here who've been into modular far longer than that. So lots of good information. So thank you for watching, and thank you for subscribing to our channel, joining our Discord, joining our newsletter, doing all that good stuff, so that you can tap into some of that, especially for some people who are new to it and people who are coming back to it, because the community really what makes it tick. So thank you so much. That was awesome. Appreciate that. All right, so I think we're moving on, and we're going to do the last performance. But before I do that, I wanted to. Adam's manning the camera right now, but I want to bring you in. I want to bring you in real quick for a second, and introduce you and kind of talk a little bit about this space, because I'm sure people are going to ask questions. Hopefully they are. There we are. All right, cool. Awesome. This is Adam. You help run the Building 61. Can you explain to people what Building 61 is?
Yeah, we're in Building 61 right now. This is the Boulder Public Library's makerspace. We've got a ton of really cool stuff in here that you've probably seen around the space in the various shots. We have laser cutters, 3D printers, a full electronics bench. We're stoked about building some modules here maybe in the future. We do a little bit of everything. You are welcome to visit during open studio hours. If you go to building61.org, you're going to find our calendar there. Probably some of you found this event already through that, so you're in the right place. And we're hoping to do more of these in the future. So thank you, everyone who's here.
Yeah, well, thank you so much. This is a really amazing, cool spot, and we hope to do some more stuff here as well. Like you were mentioning the modules, I know we were talking about doing some cases. There's a lot of stuff to do here, so support your local library no matter where you're watching from. But if you're here in Colorado and if you're definitely in Boulder, come visit. And you guys do classes too, right?
Yeah, we do classes and workshops, all kinds of cool stuff on the calendar, just the whole gamut of maker things.
Yeah.
So look forward to it.
Yeah, because we're not even seeing all the space right now. This is like one of the spaces of the spaces, so pretty awesome. This is a good fit for CMSS for sure, especially for the DIY folks out there. So, and Brian doesn't have to drive as far, so he's really doing that. Yeah, this is like our first show in Boulder, which is amazing that we haven't done any meetups or anything in Boulder, and not because we don't like Boulder, but it's just been, we've always had an issue with getting a space. That seems to be not an issue anymore. So hopefully we can come up here.
Totally honored to
Yeah, north of 36. I forgot we had a cool name for like this group of people. Awesome. So next up is actually me and Christoph, and we're gonna end the show. We want to thank you everybody for showing up. Before I end the show, I do want to give a couple shout outs to our sponsors. So Patchwerks in Seattle. I actually, if you join the newsletter, I put out they give us a promo code for these shows, so you can go to check your inbox if you joined our newsletter to get that promo code, so that you can get a 10% discount on most items over at Patchwerks. They're helping support us in that way. It's been really awesome to have some support from a synth shop, so big shout out to them. Also, Circuit Happy for sending over some missing links. We're going to be using those in the future for these type of shows. Hopefully, we'll be doing more sync shows. And if you're interested in being on the show, or if you're not able to come into Boulder, or you're living out of state, hit me up and maybe you can send in a video and we can put that on a future show. We can figure that out as we kind of build this show and start to be able to do hybrid events. We're really hoping to keep the community together that we've connected with worldwide. So we really appreciate you being on the show and sharing the show with your friends, no matter where they're at in the synth journey. So I think that's really helpful, and I think you might turn somebody on to something that they could be really interested. Okay, so Christoph, is there anything else I'm forgetting? No, okay, cool. So what we're going to do is Christoph and I are going to do the outro to the show. We'll play. So I think real quick, maybe we can kind of explain what we're going to do, since we won't have a chance to do it afterwards. Basically, I'm sending him a clock, but I'm also sending him 2 sound sources. He's going to be taking the sound in the clock into, can you help me explain this? You got a Morphogene, a Bitbox, a DLD, and am I forgetting something else? Is that everything?
That I think is everything, yes.
Yeah, so the idea is that we're not only sharing clock, but we're also trying to do some cool like sound on sound stuff. At least I think it's cool. We'll see. We also haven't. We literally talked about this on the phone last night about what we were gonna kind of do, or maybe it was the night before. But like the idea of like one person sending the clock and the sound, and the other person like slicing that up in old school tape style, right?
It's a big experiment.
We'll see what happens. If you don't like it, don't tell us. All right, here we go. So let's. I'm gonna turn off my host mode. Thank you again for watching. This has been so much fun. This has been a real adventure. I can't believe we pulled it off. I mean, I can believe we pulled it off because everyone here is so awesome. So honestly, let's everybody give yourselves and everybody else a big round of applause, because this is a pretty amazing thing to pull off. Thank you. Awesome. All right. Let's see what happens. Thank you, everybody, for watching. This has been the Colorado Modular Synth Society. What? This camera. That camera too. Classic move. Thank you, everybody, for watching. This has been our very first sync. Thank you so much, Christoph. That was awesome.
Thank you, David.
We hope to be doing more shows, as always, and hopefully we'll be doing some more here at Building 61. Don't forget to join the forum on Discord, and we also have a Facebook group, Instagram, and of course this YouTube, which we really, love the feedback and all the comments. So leave a comment down below. Let us know what you think, and we'll put some information for all the people and also the location, so we can share that with everybody. Any last things I should say before we take off?
Thank you again to Building 61. That was really awesome.
Yeah, big round of applause for Billy 61 and everybody helped that. Yeah, this is definitely our most professional looking thing, and this is about as much as it's gonna get. This is the height right here. We're cresting. No, I'm joking. So yeah, all right, awesome. Thank you so much. Appreciate it, everybody. Have a very safe rest of the month. We'll talk to you soon, and take care. Peace.